Why are you putting that Ricer stuff in your car? This is a Ford. We're American. I'd rather be a redneck than a Ricer any day, because rednecks fix shit. Rednecks survive. Rednecks say, try that in a small town. Yeah. 2014 Ford Escape. Daughter claims her AC is not working well. Hooking up all the devices. Let's go ahead and hit start in case I forget that. So I just got this, another one of those universal kits to adapt 134A over to flare fittings. High side on, low side's down there. I find it easier to pull this overflow tank up and out of the way for when I'm attaching that suction one back there. Might read a little skewed. Outside air temp, and then the ones in the dash. Okay, go start it. She claims it ain't working so good. Speaking of not working so good, what is this? You tore this off your speaker over there.
It came off with my covered thing, so my car doesn't get so hot.
Oh, you got stupid. What's this wire? What's this? Oh, no. What?
Look.
What did you do? What did you do? This is blowing hard. You said it doesn't blow hard. You mean it doesn't blow cold?
No, like you have to put your hand in it to feel it.
That's blowing hard. It's blowing hard, so it's not cold. So you have this on cold. Full AC. What's this gay thing? It's definitely hot, but it's the vehicle's hot in here, of course, it's starting. So it's on full AC. Thanks. All right, don't rev it yet. I want to see if it's doing that thing. Now, this compressor does have an issue, which it's had, and that is that the little control valve in the back of it, I know about them, I guess they get stuck. So it's probably doing it now. We'll let this balance out another second. Let me get this to where we don't have all the clouds. So I got 170. Wow, that's really low pressure. It's going to go up, but see the compression is shite. So of course your evaporator temperature is 79. It's going to be elevated, you know, with the hot temperature inside. So blowing out the vent is 132. It's 107 outside. That just shows you how much heat's built up in the ducts before he started. If we got 107 outside and 132, man, hopefully the heat ain't stuck. That'd be a new problem. Trying to get this thing angled to where there's less reflection going on here. Still up there. This should come down to what the cab temperature is. And that's the hot water valve. I'm not exactly sure if these use a valve that closes or if it's just a flapper inside that selects between, you know, heat and cold. But I don't think that the engine's not even warm yet, so that doesn't make no sense. This hasn't been driven all day, has it? Okay, so why is this air so fucking hot?
Still.
I know, don't do that yet. It's hotter than it is outside, though. I'm trying to figure this out. You might have hot water. Where's your temperature? Oh, it's already warm. How is that warm? When's the last time this was started?
Yesterday, last night, I got home.
There's no way this is up to operating temperature within 5 minutes.
Yep,
no way.
In summer, it doesn't never have the bottom.
Man, this thing's got to be infiltrating heat because it's only 107 out. And we're on the shaded side. I know the vehicle was warm when we got in, but not 130 something.
But it only blows hot until
I know. Hold on. Yeah, I know that the compressor valves would stick, but I think we have something else going on too. We'll turn this back and forth here real quick.
So I'll go to work and I'll be sweating.
I know.
I don't feel it on my face.
No. I think this thing's heating at the same time. This is a different problem. You also have the control valve thing that sticks sometimes. Turn this off for a second. Turn the compressor off and let this should just be neutral air. It should not be heating at all. Wow, that's actually heating.
It's like hot outside.
Oops, I'm trying to keep the air off. So there might be a valve that's sticking, that's letting it put heat into the cab. Well, I can't even further test it if it's doing that because it's going to be blowing heat and cool at the same time. So friction pressure should be equalized or equalizing. Yeah, it's already up in 94 and this discharge side's dropping. should be anyway. It's so weird. Yeah, compressor stopped. 165 over. It's going up to 100, so it's off. It's just taking a while to equalize. 129 is coming out the vent with it 107 outside out here. So that tells me there must be a valve or something on these things. This video was, I was just gonna check pressure and then demonstrate this valve that sometimes sticks in the compressor. And the valve that sticks in the compressor, what it does is it like bypasses at highway speeds, so you don't, to bypass internally on the compressor, but then it's sticking in bypass when you come to an idle, and then so your suction stays high and you don't get much coolant. It's like a hot gas bypass that sticks. So here's this one coolant bypass thing that's actually stuck to where we had a fault code before. You don't have no check engine lights, right? Yeah. So we need to find whatever hose goes into the inside. Oh, here it is. I think, no, that's emissions. I'm gonna have to look for the hose, whatever hose feeds hot water into the cab, and probably pinch it off for now, for the summer. Well, this sucks.
Make sure to put your hand so I can see it.
Yep, well, there's no belt or anything right here. Go ahead and start it. Just turn it off if it acts weird. That should be okay. Got the intake tube off. There's no mass airflow sensor over here, but there's an outside air temperature, so I know better not to start it without that, or I'll be an instant check light. So what I'm looking at is I'm following these, heater core hoses. There's a T there, but there's a fitting going through a valve right there. So I'm kind of wondering if that's stuck open. This is proportional. Hook it. I can. I wonder if it's 2 or 3 wires. 2 wires. It's probably just on or off. I'll take a look at that real quick. She said that's a transmission something. When I unplugged that, I don't know why that would be. So this is engine coolant. Huh. That is definitely going into the heater core. Heater core hose, right? Yep. Or is it? Yeah, it's right there. Down off the T. Goes with that. So let's see what the temperature is. It went away? It must, I don't know what that is then. Huh. So that said, what did it say when I unplugged that? Weird. Huh. It looks like a motorized valve. Unless that's weird. Unless that's a sensor. Anyway, I just want to pinch off the line. We don't want to pinch off any lines going through heat exchangers or anything, which is vehicle has several. There's one right there. But I can see that these ones here, that's just the heater core back here. So, all right, turn it off for a second. I'm gonna put a tool on there. By the way, it is equalized pressures now. So I'll put a crimp off tool on the hose. It's not on there that great. The hose is bigger than the tool is made for. Let's give it a second. 153. Now the ductwork in the cowl, and it is gonna be hot, but it should cool off. Huh. 108 outside, 123 inside. Here's
it's not blowing as hot, but it's not blowing.
no. Well, no, I have the air off. I'm trying to get a neutral air temperature before I turn it on. That's just crazy. There might be a valve underneath the dash somewhere. We'll have to look into it that selects. And it could just be a little bit leaking by, but that'd be a lot for the AC to have to overcome. Now, if we turn this all the way here to heat, let's see what happens to the temperature. Now, we do have most of the hose crimped off, but I want to see if there's a difference. 124, 125, 126, 27. It's reacting. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. I just figure that air should be a lot cooler. Let me take the crimper off. This is a crimp tool, very useful tool. On 32. This is what is blowing out your vent. 33. 34. So we know it's going up, so not to waste time. Turn this back down to cool, but not to AC. So that's full. I could hear that. You could hear.
But you don't ever feel it on your
No, you're not cold, but your description here, it's not blowing. It's blowing. It's just not blowing cold. Well. It's blowing really well.
It only goes up to here, and you don't feel like mommy in your car. You feel it.
Okay, but that's when the cool air comes out. But it's blowing. You're just not feeling the cold you expect. The fan's blowing hard. It's blowing hard. Look at your stupid gay toy here. All right, so I'm gonna cool. See if the temperature's going down to a neutral temperature again. 32 and dropping. I don't know what it peaked out at before we just switched it. 131. 130, I'm gonna let it keep dropping. I'm just looking at the path again and I'm seeing how that line goes at T's. One way goes into the heat exchanger, inside, I should say, the heater core. The other one goes through this valve, which hits this T, and there's a heat exchanger there, and I'm pretty sure there was another, well, there's another valve over here. But there might be another heat exchanger, so I don't know. So that's probably why that thing got pissed. You know what? That probably is still a coil, but it still detects when the coil is out of the circuit, so that's probably what that light was that came on for her. 123. That's what the inside temperature is. We're getting back down where it was. I wish my pinch-off tool was as wide as that hose, but it's not. And these are formed, you know, special hoses. I hate to cut it, but if you had to, you know, you could cut the line and put, you know, a valve in it with some, you know, hose clamps. Like this was supposed to be temporary because right when I replaced this fitting was messed up, was deformed from the other one. I just said, screw it, and clamp this on, and it's just been like that ever since. And this now 9-year-old car. I don't know. I got a couple clamps down in there trying to get that to clamp off 100%. It doesn't seem to be. Still 123.9. What the hell? Go ahead and turn the AC on. Max cool. There she goes. Now, when this internal control valve and the compressor sticks, you get a higher than normal suction pressure. Well, with a hot load, you'll also get that. Oops, lost one of the probes. Which one? The suction one? Suction one, timeout. So, a lot of reflection there. Okay, so, lots of superheat. We'll let it wait. I'm gonna let it run a few minutes. You see the air temperature is dropping. It's dropped, you know, over 20 degrees, or no, almost 20 degrees so far. It's still going. It's got a long ways to go. Still 107, 108 outside temperature, 29% humidity. It's a dry heat out here, right? Haven't really had much of the monsoon rains yet. Pressures are not that high. 52 psi, which is high for a 134A system, which you see it equals a 57 degree evaporator temperature. That sucks. With 99 on the suction line, so we're down to 42 degrees superheat. It was like 50 something. Temperatures dropped down to 98 when I'm the vent. It's not all that good. Let me go in the car, where it's blowing a crisp 95 degrees. Actually feels better than that. That is the top thermometer, 92. Just open and everything. put it at an angle or something. So might be a little bit of a dead zone. There we go, it's dropping in the 80s now. So there's our pressures out under the hood, 276 over 50, 54 degree vap. You want those way cold on a car. It does take time to cool off the cab. So this possibility of the water line or or a leak through with a blade inside. I don't know if these isolate from heating with just a damper and the heater coil is always active. Some cars are like that. Or if it's supposed to turn off a valve to stop the flow to the heater core. But one way or the other, it's the neutral air temp was like 123, 124 before you even turn on the air. And right now it's blowing down to 80. So, it's mixing a little bit of heat. That definitely caused these symptoms. So let's go back to what we did have going on with this since the wife was driving it, right at the end of her driving it before she got the other vehicle here, was it would stop cooling very well. It wouldn't cool so good at idle, but it would still be okay when you're driving it. So something's got a low battery. I'm getting so distracted. I'm sweating my ass off and everything. Distractions. Anyway, so what's going on is it wouldn't be cooling so good at idle. So like right now, I mean, it feels way better than outside. It's blowing 75 degrees now and dropping, but the control valve, when it sticks to the position of partial bypass to lower your compression of your compressor, which you can see has compression. So sometimes what we do is just rev it a few times real quick and it would unstick. What? She's the only one that still has a turbo. All right, child. Let's see if that. And it's actually creeping up, not down now. What the hell? Let me give it a little bit of throttle. This brings up the pressures of what the compressor would do when you're at, driving speed. And you can see it's bringing down the pressure and temperature there. And now that air is going to start getting colder. Let's let off the throttle a little bit. It's too high. I want to be about 2,000 maybe. 38 psi. See how it's working great? Temperature should start coming down. It's hard to hold that throttle steady. Should be even colder in here though. I gotta wonder if she's got a secondary issue. Now I thought of putting some zero ice in this thing. Zero ice, which a lot of us have mocked as snake oil because they sell it to people that don't need it on residential just to make a buck, but it is got some extra lubricants in it and whatnot. And Climate Master, for one, for water source heat pumps, I can already feel that warming up as soon as I let off the throttle. See, it sucks at idle. But anyway, they before you were to change the reversing valve or TXV, they said we want you to use this can of Zero Ice or AC Renew, same thing, competitors, to see if it'll unstick the valve first. And low on battery? No, just turned off the backlight, or low. Anyway, it actually unstuck some of those valves, so I'm kind of wondering if it would on this. And I was going to show you a clip from Ford Tech Mocha Loco of the valve I'm talking about, but I'm going to turn this off and see if I can block off that thing. It's up to 85 degrees coming out the vent in here with the air conditioning on at idle. So that valve might have got stuck again, or it's just all the heat pushing through, which I'm thinking it's got hot. You can see the water temp's 172 right there now. So I'm going to go plug this in to charge, and I'm going to try to do some stuff here. All right. So a piece of advice when you're working on stuff like this where it seems like you just can't reach it, if you take the cowl off, then you have tons of room behind these engines. You can even see the turbo. A little tiny one.
We should get a bigger one.
You don't need it. But here's the coolant lines. I just measured it. It's like almost 1.1 inches on the outside, so It's probably like 3/4 barb maybe on the inside. Maybe if I go get some barb fittings and really good hose clamps. Trying to decide if I just want to put a valve in there. I don't know, probably go to Lowe's real quick and take a look at what they got. Make that decision. And then continue on checking the air conditioning. Hopefully none of these fittings leak. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and depress them so that it's got the valve held open in case one of these lines gives a ghost. All right, so we are going to probably resort to this kit right here, which is your heater bypass kit. So 2 clamps in this. Everyone's gonna talk shit about this being plastic, but we're just doing it for testing, and for now, the only thing I have worried about is there's not a whole lot of slack in there. If I cut these way over here, I'll have plenty of slack, but then I won't be able to recouple the connection so easily. Okay, I had these disconnected to get them loose. I cut these 2 hoses. I mean, this is kind of redneck engineering right here. People have done it a million times. People nowadays are gonna freak because they've never seen this before. They don't have any ingenuity anymore. So this is just a bypass kit. They actually sold it so they have to go buy a bunch of expensive brass, and it came with the 2 clamps that sucked, so I had to get 2 different clamps out of my stash. So if those are tight enough, it shouldn't leak. The core is now isolated, it's gonna drip. This could be fixed later. So it's the middle of summer, so this is what we're doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the turbo charge pipe back on. And actually that's the intake side of the turbo, but anyway, we're gonna put that hose back on so no coolant drips inside it, and probably go ahead and put some of it back together, and we'll start it up and see what we get. Of course, we're not sitting in the sun, but why is your seats all reclined like a lowrider set here? Friends are goofy. 46 psi, it's a coils at 51. The air is blowing out 72, which is the coldest we've seen it so far. And you haven't even revved up the engine. We already just saw when we drove my vehicle there, when we come up to the stoplight, the air temperature goes up a little bit. It doesn't go hot, but it's not cold. And then as soon as the engine gets off of idle, it's cold. We're idling like 700 or so. Down to 69. You know, maybe that did make a difference, because it seemed like when we ran it earlier, it was getting worse and worse. I remember I kept revving it up, you know, and it would start dropping a little bit. When I let off, it'd be even hotter. And I think when I heated up the engine from revving it up and running it, yeah, I think I think as you drove and it got up to operating temperature, I think your heater is infiltrating the AC system. So either there's a damper that doesn't close 100% in there, it's fucked up, or it's supposed to shut off a water line, which I really don't see a water valve to do that. But either way, us bypassing the coolant around the, you know, not using the heater core. Huh? Yeah, it's coming down. See the temperature. If we had a probe in here, we'd see what the temperature was in the vehicle.
I don't think my car even running has been like
No, it's going down perfectly normal. Like that valve's not stuck open right now. That valve still does stick sometimes, but all you have to do is rev it once or twice and unsticks. I'm gonna get the which fell down anyway. Set this right here. I should start dropping down. It's weird, it's not even moving. It's not on hold, is it? It's weird. Or is it that warm in this car still right there?
from the down. I don't have my air to vents on down there.
No, there isn't any. Oh, no, right here.
Oh, I was just saying the air.
No, that's not how it's supposed to be. This is, oh, it's moving. No, we're trying to get the temperature in the car. So as you cool the car temperature should come down. I don't want that in this. I want this down there to show what your car is at. So it's slowly dropping. So it's 108 coming out 65. That's pretty much expected. Once you get the car down below 100, then this will start being in the 50s. And once the car gets down like 80s in here, then you get that like 40-degree air coming out the dash.
We won't get that until like November.
Well, it feels like it's working. So let me hit record again. I forgot to hit stop last time on this, so I probably lost all that data. Dang it. Unless it captured it.
I wish wish I had vents back there because I have friends who come over.
You do, right
No, I
here.
don't.
This doesn't?
No, there's no vents in
Oh,
there.
well, this isn't a premium vehicle. That's what that's why it's giving you an extra change spot right here.
But it's just because I have friends in the back, and it's not.
I don't want you having friends in here. That's what they get. That's what they get for going. All right, well, let's just let this idle and let's go start putting your car back together. Right, just let it run and see what this gets down to. It's down to 65. Inside, it's 107. See, until you pull a car down, it won't cool very good. But those pressures are kind of okay. We're just going to go ahead and start putting the hoses back on, the cowl, and all that. Oh, this is the temperature of the water. We'll turn this on real quick. Granted, we don't have direct sunlight anymore, but I don't want to overheat. So 165 degree on the outside of the rubber hose already from the coolant. The water's probably already getting towards 200 in there. That's what was going in the heater core, and the AC was having to fight that. So we have a night and day difference, so that definitely was affecting it. It looks like 63 below. We'll let that keep going while we put the hoses back on. Start bringing me the air intake system. Now this car, it's not that bad. It looks overwhelming when you first open the hood and everything's put in place, but once you know this vehicle and it's your own, you just start taking pieces out. This is the air filter box that just snaps down in there. That goes, you got to get it underneath this hose, or no, underneath this one, I think. Where's that? Yeah, let me stop it here. Have to break you of your ricer ways. You're trying to like ricers. Put this up. Okay, hold on. Let me get this plugged in first. There we go. Now this lines up, push down in there. That snaps down in there. Down in all the snappers. And then this just, whoops, pull that out. Shit. I have the intake right here. Remember I told you I needed that to be in the system or it would error. So I'll just come out like this. What at? Look under, oh, there's your top of your box. So you need your air filter and that. And one thing we don't want to do is this. Goes on like that. Air filter, you were playing with it earlier.
No, but you took it off of the. Oh, crap.
This needs to go on. You have to have this on. You get dirt in your engine. Just to store it up. This has to fit just inside this little groove right there. And once you get that in there, then this sits there. Pretend that you're still toddler and you're trying to push the square hole into the square peg and the square hole, round peg and the round hole. Don't be like these kids now that think they can put the wrong peg in the wrong hole now. That's right. That's 5/16, which is not on. Some of this stuff's 5/16, some of the stuff like this is 7mm. So one in the reading the vents down to 59, it's got a dead battery, so it's going to shut off on us probably. So get the cowl. I'm going to move this over here. This cowl is what exposes all this. So if you ever need to do anything, you really flip it around. This is what you need to take off. It's one big piece. And it's just going to lay down right here. Oop, oh, it goes underneath. Wait, what are we doing? Yeah. Goes underneath, sits like that. Yep. Put the 4 bolts in there.
Where they at? Is it?
Yep. And then there's that other plastic that just snaps on it and you put your wipers back on. The wipers you have to sync because they have a home position and everything. So, lost the thing. I'm gonna put some batteries in it real quick. Just go put it on there and just tap it once so you know it's tight. That's good. Alright. Because that thing can strip it out, and that's the little one. Now, put this one on there, that would snap those bolts right through. Technically, everything has a torque, and you can look up and torque it, but just get it tight for that kind of stuff. She puts the cowl cover back on. That thing's pretty freaking tore up. So someday she get a new one. Half the snaps are missing. So this one you have to line up to where these plastic snaps drop in them little holes right there. So you kind of wiggle around, you can kind of feel it, snap them in. And then put these clips back on. There's gonna be a couple missing, so get the outside and the middle, and then
you usually miss one of these?
yeah, use whatever, start on the outside and at least get one in the middle, and then whatever. Lost a couple of them. Down to 55 degrees, come out the vent, 95 in the car. So right here, lost one of these screws, so I wound up just replacing both the regular Phillips head, but I want to show something right here. It's a recommendation to Carrier, and I even told them this at a Carrier convention thing. The screws get stripped out, you know, everybody does use impact, so they're going to get stripped out, but guess what's really hard to strip out and last for a long time? These kind of automotive clips, the ones that get tighter as you tighten it up, and it's hard steel, these things, I'd like them to put those on their panels, on the metal behind the removable panels. That way all the screws they don't strip out the metal. Because the first time somebody works on a Carrier, a Goodman, even a Train, whatever, with these drills, they strip those screws out. And then you have to go bigger, or they make new holes. It's a pain in the ass. So if Carrier was to, Train and all them were to use these clips, that would be awesome. I know what the title of this video is going to be. This is going to be Ford Escape gets Redneck repair. And this Redneck repair is a permanent solution. What?
Why don't you title it with what you're actually fixing? So
well, I'll put that in there. We're gonna say like Ford Escape stuck, you know, heater valve, whatever, gets Redneck repair or something like that. So for an example, I just stuck this other probe down here, which is more of an airspeed probe than its temperature, but it has a thermistor in it, and it's going over 130 because that's your under the hood air coming out of the radiator. So basically, effectively, when your heater core's stuck, whether it's stuck because water's going through it when it's not supposed to be, or because a damper inside doesn't seal the chambers, I don't know what type this actually uses, but regardless, you've got this kind of temperature, well, coolant temperature, and effectively a small radiator in there, and you see this air is getting over 135. Well, you're taking that and trying to cool it with the evaporator, and then coming out the vents when you're driving, it's getting up to like 90 with the AC on. And then now we have not revved up the engine, haven't done nothing. It's sitting here idling, and this is the best I've seen this in a long time. So this is outside temperature. Oh, no, it isn't. It's like 110 outside. That's 91 in her car. Her car was 110, 111 when I first laid the probe in there. And it was hotter than that before we started it, but it's down to 91 in her space and 52 coming out the vent. But look at the pressure, it's perfectly normal, 39. Superheat, I'm not gonna get good accurate reading probably because I'm under the hood with the sensor. That's not quite down to beer can cold, but it's cool. It's probably 60, 70 degrees, and it's saying it's 78, so it's picking up heat from under the hood. So it's probably more like 20 something superheat. You can see I just wiggled it, it's actually reading a little better all of a sudden. So the coolant is probably totally fine. That's pretty low pressure for a 134A, but it's got a nice fan on it. But I don't think it needs any refrigerant. 52 coming out the vent with it. 91 in the cab, like I said, it's still cooling down in there. And under the hood here is 144. So back there you can kind of see with the cowl back in place. Turn the light on the camera here. You can't see, you know, very well. Way back in there, you saw is where that bypass is. We'll just have to just make sure it doesn't be losing coolant, and we'll just just watch the coolant, make sure it doesn't go out, because it could. I mean, that's clamps and a plastic nipple. That is a high temperature plastic. It's made for doing what we used it for. I don't even remember what it says on here, but that's what this kit's for. Hose, connector and clamps. I mean, this is what it's for. It's made for doing what we did. It's a coolant by coupling. Coolant line, you know. So 51 out the vent. It's still dropping. It's still getting hotter and hotter under the hood. So as you warmed it up, you were fighting hotter and hotter temps. So this thing's gonna probably be colder. If that thing's been starting to get worse, it's probably gonna be, you know, like a new AC to you. All right, go ahead and put. While she was putting the last cover on here, the phone overheated again and stopped recording. So I had to put some ice cubes on the phone again. 157 under hood temp, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that sensor out, kind of prove the point, and don't want to lose it. down to 86 in the cab and 50 out the vent. So if we were to drive it, which we'll probably do in a second, you'll probably see the pressures. And I think I'm gonna have her drive me around the block so we can show you guys some pressures. Should be awesome.
My coolant like intact or something?
What do you mean? Coolant? Oh, it's still sitting there loose. It's okay. It's just laying there where you're not gonna go crazy. Get that thing down there. So just gonna watch the pressures as we drive here. Oh yeah. So you can rev it up a little bit. See that 30 psi, which comes out to a 32 degree evaporator. 50. See the vent temperature will start dropping. See 49. And you come to an idle. Sit for an idle for a second. See it's creeping back up. So it kind of leveled out about 50 before. It's 49.9 there. Or 86 in the cab. Okay, go. Just keep steady. See how you're off idle, the pressure goes way down. The compressor pumps more. Your evaporator temperature drops, and then our temperature starts dropping out the vent. Starts rising. When you come down, I don't know, it drops back down. You go right, just go around the block once. Don't be no racer. You hope you're not power brake boosting this anymore.
What's that?
What you did to burn out in the parking lot when you held the brake and the gas.
Oh.
Don't you, that's hard on the transmission, I hope you know. And this has got miles on it now, and it's almost 10 years old. 90, which that's not a lot of miles, but it's 9 years old and has 90,000 miles on it. So
I put,
I've drained the fluid and done a fill, but that's all you could do without a major service on these transmissions.
I put like 12K miles on it a year.
I know. Well, don't tell the insurance companies that. But your mom puts like 1,000 on a year, so it kind of evens out. When I say 10,000 or 8,000, whatever per vehicle per year, it averages out to that. That's because you've been driving boys that don't have licenses, which is weird nowadays that boys don't have licenses. So how out of all your friends, what is the percentage that have a license now that they're 17? 50%? Less than 50%? In my day, only a kid that just didn't have the means at all, and I was poor. I had my license on my 16th birthday, and I was dirt poor. So I'm just saying that'd be the only excuse for one not. So it's down to 44. See, it's getting. If you would have kept driving, it probably would have gotten down to 40. But your car's coming, little fuckers. Everybody's parking on the streets. Yeah. So look at that. Suction's down to 21. Gosh. Superheat, we got under hood temperatures affecting that, so that's not an honest suction temperature. Guarantee its temperature is way lower than that, especially since our air temperature is almost getting down to 40 now. So is that the coldest it's felt in a while? I mean, it's not peak day though. It says 109, so we're still about, ain't like we're cold, and it ain't like we're not hot.
Get my school ID.
So this is the hopefully not. I doubt it. So I'm not gonna touch the refrigerant charge. It's cooling fine. Now you can find out what it's like. So what we could do, like I said, is if it's got a valve or a damper that's not sealing inside here, you're talking thousands of dollars for a shop to do it, and we could do it if we look it up or figure it out as we go. It takes a lot longer to do it when you're not already done it before. It isn't worth it. What I would do is we will just when summer ends and we know we're going to need heat, we fix the hoses back up with a valve in there, and then this winter's over, we close the valve. When winter comes, you open the valve. And easy, cheap fix. It's a Redneck fix, but it's actually a really good fix. It's just not an automatic valve. But like cars used to use vacuum lines and everything when you went to heat cool on Chevys and whatnot. And then when you put it to heat, it would open the water. And when you weren't on heat, or maybe it was the other way around, the actuator worked. I don't know if it's reverse acting or whatever, but or direct. But they would basically open and shut the valve for heat or not heat. So look at that, cold. Now it's normal not to be that cold when you first started, when the car's at 130, it's going to keep cooling down, right? Look, see, it's 87 down by my feet. But so the car is like 87 to 90 in here, but the air blowing on us is 43. Now it's rising because we're idling.
If I did that, would it go back to your feet colder?
Yeah, but we don't want it on your feet. That's for heating. Heating, you like down low, and heat rises. For cooling, you need it blowing in your face. If you did that, you'd never feel cool in here. You're driving a greenhouse in this direct sun. It takes like 4 tons of cooling or whatever to frickin'. Why?
Put your feet up.
Why? You put them down there. Rice or stuff.
Too.
Look at you got a trip on that. And where do you have that plugged in? Where's that plugged in?
In here.
Why? That is so gay. On the USB plug?
And so I have it right here and go down here.
That's not a good installation. Look, it's all hanging out. You could tuck that up.
I'm gonna get stuff to fix it. I just don't know what to get.
You tuck it under the plastic. Look. Reach down under the plastic. Put it under. Drop the cable down all the way under the plastic. Bring it up. And then the other side, you can just loop it around. That's gay shit, though. Why are you putting that ricer stuff in your car? This is a Ford. We're American. I'd rather be a redneck than a ricer any day, because rednecks fix shit. Rednecks survive. Rednecks say, try that in a small town. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't even like Shit Kick, but that's a good song right there. I'll tell you that. Oh, what happened here? Anyway, see, it's rising up because you're idling. That's normal. But that valve hasn't stuck on me, but I thought we were going to be checking out today. So that's all funny. I was just going to demonstrate that valve sticking, see if we can unstick it inside the compressor, the control bypass valve, but it hasn't acted up at all today. But it's cool and good now. All right, pop her in. She puts the cap back on.
Oh shit.
Get it on there, good. Screw it on tight. There's O-ring in there, so you want it to be tight in case the stem in there, valve cord didn't hold. Tighten it. Yeah, act like it's hot under there.
If I just fucking touch the motor mount.
That new motor mount we put in? How much more smooth is this car? I didn't even notice it vibrating when we were driving around in there.
It doesn't vibrate at all. Before my whole dash, my phone would follow the phone mount.
Oh, you better go find that screw thing that just came off your phone too. Oh, shit. That's about to break.
What?
This thing kinked a little bit. Ooh, man, that could break. Gotta be careful. What does this line go to? Goes down to something. So hopefully it's okay. It kinked when I was doing that. I think it goes in here. But that's the kind of stuff, you know, that'll freaking cause you to lose all your coolant. You're not careful. It's a little. I think it just flows a little bit. Actually, the levels. That's not bad. Even though we lost some, that's where it's at. Just keep watching it. Mm-hmm. What do you do if you coolant starts blowing everywhere? What do you do? Do what? That's right, and turn it off. You don't cook the engine.
It'll turn off on me anyway.
Well, you'll get a blown head gasket or worse, warped head. You pretty much just need a whole engine then. Don't want to do that. Huh?
How much would a new engine be?
Shit. One of these EcoBoosts, they're...
Oh, I would upgrade it then. I wouldn't keep it.
People probably need them at least as often as cars are wrecked that have them available. So they're an engine that's sought after, and you're going to pay. So because of that, you're going to pay thousands probably for a used one.
You think it would be worth it to do that? Well, my car's worth like... I saw someone selling my car on off-road for $16K with only 5K less miles than I have.
What? Well, this one's dirty. You need to clean it up, but that might have been a fancier one. This is just an SE. Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, it's mostly it drives nice still and everything.
It was the same one I have.
And is it slow?
Year, color, and everything.
Is it slow?
Yeah, but I'm gonna get it Miata. So
it is not slow. Whoa. Wait. You're wanting one of these? Yeah. The early. Do you know this car here would kick the ever-living shit out of that car from 0 to 60 and in a quarter mile?
Not if I keep it stock.
But no, but this car isn't slow. It's just not fast. This is 0 to 40. This car pulls away from a lot of cars. Huh? That's a knockout. It's just because you don't have the features there, whatever would be there.
Well, what is it for?
This is a 1.6 liter, 180 foot-pounds of torque. More than 100 foot-pounds per liter. It's actually pretty potent engine. It just doesn't have high revving power. It's torquey for a little engine.
What's it called? Where like you press on the throttle and it like lags, you know?
Turbo lag? This hardly has any lag.
No, I'm saying it doesn't just go right away. It takes a few seconds and then you go.
It takes like a mere quick second. Cars with bigger turbos that are made for performance, if you don't boost it, that's why people do the two-step. No, well, they need that to add. I mean, those have lag. Like performance cars used to sell, like 300Zs and stuff, they had lag. You'd get up to like 4,000 RPMs before it even felt it. This car doesn't have lag.
Okay.
You notice that it has a turbo with brief lag, but it doesn't have historic turbo lag, not at all. Those pieces of shit. There's one on Cletus McFarland should look at that they were just doing. It has an LS engine in it. Way better. She said she wants a 2JZ. Fuck that. I'd rather her import a Ford Falcon from Australia that has their turbo inline 6. Most people don't even know those engines exist. Anyway, this is an Amazon kit right here with all these adapters, although this little thing didn't seem to fit on the can right, but actually that's the other kit. The other kit's one is R1234, which is what? Dang it. This is 124YF. That car is still 134A. So we got 2 adapter kits. The other one for the 1234, that fitting didn't seem to really want to fit on there right. I don't know. But anyway, this is the 134A kit. Came with a bunch of adapters. You had to put together here, but it works. It didn't leak at all. So that's cool. So I got that because I lost the other ones. So I got them for both 134A and the 1234YF. So, sweet. Anyway, that does it for that. I'll find out after the next couple days and probably post an update comment on there and pin it of how that worked out. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Catch you guys all later.